All right, everybody, we are back, and we are finally going to test fire this baby up. So, what I've done off camera, I've got a fresh air intake down in the bottom. People ask me why I put this motor so high. It's actually on about the same level as the bottom of this barrel. I've got the barrel actually lifted up quite a bit in here. Now, when we set the lid on, this part's going to be almost touching the lid itself, but this part over here is where the smoke and exhaust should pull down through. The whole idea here, have the exhaust come down, work down over this side opposite of the inducer motor, get pulled back into here, and it should cool it down by the time it gets here while retaining as much of the heat as possible. The hottest part of this thing obviously is going to be above the fire. So to feed this thing, we have a piece of pipe. This is 2-inch black iron. I'm only going to put about a half charge in this tonight because these things will burn like 12, 16 hours. I don't want that because I really don't want it running when I'm not out here. So we're going to put about a half charge in. So this is going to go down through the hole. And what we'll do is we'll pour sawdust in. That pipe's sticking up a little over halfway in the barrel. Pour sawdust in around it, tamp it down really good, and then we're going to take some coal ash that I have from the house stove and put a layer of that on top of the sawdust so the top of the sawdust pile doesn't burn. The whole idea is that hole you create up through the center of your sawdust, it should act kind of like it'll give your flame a little bit of a vortex and it'll make it act like a rocket stove. So that's what we're going for. I do have some sealing up to do on this, but while we're getting it running, I'm going to be doing that. So anyway, stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it, and let's see what happens here. All right, I know it's hard to see that pipe in there, if you can see it at all, but I have a bunch of sawdust from the wood shop. And apparently pieces of wood too. Anyway, let's see what we get here. Didn't realize how many wood scraps made it into this. So this is all stuff from last winter, and I have a couple more decent sized piles up there, so we'll see how this burns. Grab something decent to tamp this down with. Let's get Thor, the mighty hammer here. I want that in there. So this is either going to be an epic fail or a big win. Who knows? All right, that's what we have. We have a real short load in there right now. Tapped it around that pipe. We packed it down pretty well. We're going to put a layer of ash on top. Then we're going to light this baby off. Don't need that much. Alright, so that's what we have. The hole goes all the way down through the bottom of the barrel. You guys remember the previous video? And we're going to light this thing off and see what happens. Like I said, could be great, could be shitty. Who knows? We're going to find out. So we had our fire extinguisher handy. Set that right close by. I have temperature probes. We're going to be checking all the temperatures and stuff on this. So I guess, let's see what happens here. It's either going to be really bad or really, really good. Who knows? Woo! Flames. You guys, what that looks like. Right there. That's what we should get. I'm not going to hold the camera right over it, but let's get the lid on and get the inducer running. So we've been running about a half an hour now, and you can already tell I have to do some revamping. I was experimenting a little bit with combustion air, and it looks like I need more. But let's see where we're at. I can feel the heat coming off of it, but it's not, definitely not there yet in terms of getting this thing burning right. Let's see where we end up. Yeah, that won't do. We're at 130 down here. It's actually condensing outside, but I think that's probably, I have some moisture in this sawdust. It's probably not as dry as it should be. But we're going to experiment around, and we'll keep toying with it till we get it. Yeah, definitely need a little more exhaust out of that. And I don't know, we'll figure a couple things out, but we're going to keep plugging at it here. Well, experiment didn't quite work out so good tonight, so here's what happened. This, like I told the guys on the Facebook group, tonight this first light off went over like a limp dick on the honeymoon. No good. Just didn't go over at all. So what happened, the fire got going nice. It started decently. Probably the sawdust I'm using isn't quite dry enough. There's a lot of green sawdust in there, even though it was last year's. It's been in a trash bag since last winter, so it really hadn't had a chance to dry out. But with the inducer motor, it should kind of suck that out of there still, the smoke. I will say I was condensing a little bit, and that's probably because there was a lot of moisture in the sawdust. I actually had water dripping out of the pipe on the outside, the exhaust pipe. But the hottest my exhaust got was about 180, somewhere in there. The top of this stove I had up to 400. It was humming along really nice. The sides, the hottest these sides got was about 200 down low, which that's exactly what I wanted it to do. So now we have to do some fine tuning, which it's actually going to be some major tuning. So what I need to do now moving forward, I don't like my inducer setup. I want to make it a little bit better, a little bit different. Big thing with that I don't like is when I cut that off, the zip wheels I use are always stainless steel zip wheels, and it cut just fine. I go to weld on it and realize it's not welding very well. It was actually, oh, what am I saying here? It was actually stainless steel, this portion of it right here, and it's mild steel out here. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut that off of there. We're going to do that a little bit differently. We're going to get some, I'm going to get the right, help me out guys, I can't think. I'm going to get the right mild steel pipe. I still have more from the leftover from doing the leg vise. I can't talk tonight. Probably all this damn smoke in here. I'm high, probably high as a kite right now, who knows. But as far as air intake goes, we're going to cut this slot out. Oh, can you see it? Yeah, you can kind of see it. We're going to make this a slot right there, and we're going to have a piece of metal that'll slide over to adjust the air. Big thing though is getting that exhaust a little bit bigger. I don't know what I was thinking. I only put a 2-inch black iron pipe on there, and that's way too small. I figured it's just out the wall. Dumb. I should know better. Of all people, I should know better. So I have a piece of 4-inch. I have a nice piece of 4-inch exhaust pipe here. And I think what we're going to do is we will make a new inducer assembly, use the motor and everything we have right there, but I think we're gonna do it right. I wasn't 100% ready to light it off tonight, but I just felt like I really wanted to. So last night I was out here. Now, I let the fire go out in this probably an hour and a half ago. This is still pretty hot to touch up here, and that's a no flame inside this thing right now. It's just kind of smoldering away right now because I shut the blower off for a while. Of course, it filled the room right up. But anyway, now I've got my wireless mic on. I'm standing next to this inducer motor. It's really not that loud, so I'm happy with that. Worst comes to worst, I do have a different inducer assembly setup here. It's a 230 volt single phase. Then maybe we'll use that in some capacity. But I might even decide to do our draft induction on the inlet side. I'm not sure why I didn't do that before. I was concerned about pulling sparks and stuff and blowing it up through and out. That I honestly, with the distance that has to travel, I really don't think that's going to be too much of a big deal. But as far as round one goes, and for something like this, I always figure it's going to take many rounds to get it right. I mean, I've never built one before. I've watched, like everybody else out there, I saw it on YouTube and I just had to do it. You know what I mean? But, so, we're going to keep plugging on it until it's done, but I'm going to get the hell out of this room. It is a little too smoky in here for me. But, yeah, that's still nice and hot. That's pretty cool. So it's just lukewarm down here, which is neat. Of course, if we get this thing running right and it gets up to the temperatures that they normally do, this will get quite a bit hotter. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're going to keep plugging away. We're going to keep at it. And pretty soon, hopefully by the end of the weekend, this thing has worked out to where it's running and heating this place up nice. So hope you guys liked it, and I'll catch you on the next one.